So why choose a music hall turntable?
Well, it's a good question. Project do make good turntables. There's no question about it. I wouldn't say the same about nameless companies like Rega, but Project do make good turntables.
I'll tell Roy next time I'm talking to him.
He knows my opinion.
I'm
these
sure
things.
he
I've told him
does.
myself. Yeah, he doesn't quite agree with me. I'm totally
I can't imagine why.
totally surprised by that. Anyway, why you should choose music hall? What Project does is it has a vast range of turntables. They have a blue one, a green one, a round one, a plastic one, a square one, a high one, a narrow one. And there's no coherence to Project. They're all essentially the same. They're all good, but there's really nothing coherent about it. We have a very simple philosophy. Good, better, best. It's a line basically of 4 turntables, and each turntable is one step above the prior turntable. And we do it very simply we start off with a good arm, a good bearing, a good cartridge.
Yes.
When you go to the next model, you have a better bearing, a better platter, a better arm, a better cartridge. As you step up, you have more features like external motors, carbon fiber arms, acrylic platters, more isolation. We also use what I call split plinth technology, which is, it starts on the 5 over here, or the 5.1, whichever version it is. And we use rubber springs to isolate the platforms. And essentially, if you look at our turntable starting with a 5 going up, the top platform is a large arm board.
Yes.
And the only thing on that arm board is the arm and the bearing.
Right.
The motors are always fitted on a lower level, and that decouples the vibrations from the turntables. So it's a way of isolating and suspending the table in a coherent and simple fashion, whereas other turntables use all sorts of harps with springs and like Lynn, which do make fantastic turntables. I have to admit, I still own my Lynn, and different ways of doing it. But I found that this method, which I plagiarized. I'll be very honest, I have no idea about turntable design. I steal everything from other people.
Yes.
But I give them credit.
It's the sincerest form of flattery.
I plagiarized this idea from Revolver. I told you, they're out of business, but he used to use 2 platforms with some. He had a bullshit story. I refined it, but it was a good idea.
Nice.
And so I just found it's a very effective way of doing it. And as we go up, we change from rubber to sorbothane springs.
Yes.
And sorbothane are wonderful dampers. We use sorbothane hemispheres between the platforms.
Nice, yes. Now, is there a specific philosophy for musical turntables?
Yes, they got to sound musical, but there is another philosophy, and it's a little bit of conceit.
Yes.
Every product I make, whether it's my turntables, and we do make electronics also, they have to pass one acid test. And the acid test is, could I live with this if it was the only thing available to me? Right. And if it passes that test, then I bring it to market.
Then it's okay.
And there have been many products that don't pass that test.
Don't pass it.
I'm not a genius, but that's basically my philosophy. And the reason is, you can go around, you can go to stores, you can talk to other people, what do you think of this? And they'll give you your opinion. But I'm the boss of the company, and someone has to make the final decision.
Yes.
And the final decision's truly based. I mean, I get a lot of help. Leland, who's my associate, who's been with me 20 years, fabulous set of years. In fact, how we evaluate products is that when I design a product and get it, I listen to it and take notes. Right. And I send it off to Leland, who lives 3,000 miles from me in California, and he listens to it. And then we compare notes. So we don't influence each other. And we've found most of the time we have the same opinion. But when it comes to bringing something to market, you have to make a decision. And that is how I decide. If even with our least expensive turntable, the 2.2, can I live with it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd be very happy. And yes, I have lots of turntables at home. My wife goes crazy because she never knows which turntable's plugged in. She wants to play a record. In fact, before I left for Australia, just before the cab came, she said, which turntable's working today? And she's put on a record and checked, because the amount of time she's called me and I've been in the middle of nowhere, she said, I can't get the bloody hi-fi system to work. So I made sure it was set up.
It's nice you've got a wife who likes playing records.
My wife won't play CDs. She
Even
hates
better.
them. She only listens to vinyl. And that's, I mean, maybe it's something to do with me, but she just doesn't like digital. And she only listens to vinyl. And I use her ears when listening.
Women have
also,
very good
because
hearing.
very good ear, but also women have another advantage over men when it comes to hi-fi. They're not into the bullshit we're into.
No.
You know, we're always trying to find a higher meaning, and for a woman, it's the same thing as anything. It's either good or it's bad. You know, I mean, we're kind of saying, wow, you know, the highs are this and the lows are that. You know, we're just full of shit. But women are just straightforward.
Straight down the
You
line.
say, that's good. No, that really doesn't sound good.
All right.
So that's it. So it's designed by a man and approved by a woman.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. I think that's a great way to do things.
Very
Now,
safe way of doing things.
You also have a range of cartridges, the magic cartridges.
Yes, we've had various cartridges, and I cannot make my own cartridges. So right now on the 5.1, we're using a music hall. It's called a Magic 3 cartridge, and it's essentially a modified Ortophon. Yes. I do have the ability to go to people like Ortophon or Goldring or Audio-Technica. We are coming out next year with an Audio-Technica cartridge that they're making especially for me, a simple cartridge. We've gone to some other manufacturers. In fact, we're developing right now. They'll be quite expensive because they're made in America, but I'm doing a project with Soundsmith just now in America.
Nice.
And fabulous range of cartridges. I just wish they were half the price they're going to be, but they're really good. And we'll probably they'll be a high end. They'll probably start about $800 US retail to about 17, 18.
That's exciting.
Three in the range, but he's done such a good job with
Such a unique take on cartridges, though, too.
And so I like doing stuff like that. And to my great surprise, over the years, people start taking me seriously because you know.
To your great surprise.
My great surprise.
Love it. All right. Final question.
Sure.
Turntables are like children for you, must be. You're a proud parent. Do you have a favourite child?
Do I have a favourite child? My Lynn.
Your Lynn! I can't see that here today.
No. Probably the 5.1.
Because of its gestation?
No, it's good reason. The 7.1 is better and the 9.1 is better. There's no question. They're much better than the 5.1. But I think bang for the buck, the amount of technology in it and the sound you get back seems to come together. It's the best value for money on the 5.1. And something I've learned about turntable design, in fact, it's about hi-fi design, there's a little bit of magic in it. You know, you can do it by the book, and I do understand the physics and I understand the mechanics, all that. I've kind of learned that stuff over the years. But every so often, the stars are aligned or something like that,
together.
and it just comes together, and you get something that just sings. And when a hi-fi product sings, that's it. That's what it's all about.
Fantastic. Look, on that note, I'm Wes Bell for Audio Trends TV, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking with Roy Hall from Music Hall.
I wish I could say the same.
I wish you could too. Thank you.